A very warm welcome and a very good evening to all our viewers here at the Buddhist Mahaviharas Facebook page. We are going live this evening. Sorry for the delay because we had a small technical issue with the internet in Sri Lanka, where our speaker is based. We've got that sorted out, so when we can now commence with this evening's Dhamma sharing. Now, this evening's Dhamma sharing is entitled A Buddhist Perspective on How to Embrace Life. Now, this topic was actually given by this Bhante, and the reason why he had selected this title was because many of us really don't know how to live our lives. We just live our lives in a normal, mundane way of living. So Bhante wanted to teach us what the Buddha taught us and how to live our life fruitfully and virtuously, so that and how we can look at life in a more spiritual rather than a mundane level. And if we develop a realistic view, there won't be any issues in our lives. So before we proceed with this evening's Dhamma sharing, let me first bring on the speaker this evening. He is uh, Bhante Dambulle Sudewa Thera. Now, I happened to chance upon this Bhante while I was actually surfing the internet and especially on Facebook and on YouTube. And I came across this Bhante's YouTube channel. It was called The Story Monk. And I found this channel was really very interesting because Bhante Sudeva teaches Buddhism or the Buddhist teachings by using stories, and his videos are actually very short. They're only about 10 to 20 minutes at the most, and they're very interesting because he uses anecdotes, he uses stories to illustrate the points that the Buddha had made, to bring across his message of how to expound the Dhamma. So I thought I would like to look him down and search for who the speaker was, and I managed to do that. And we are very fortunate this evening to have Bhante Dambulle Sudewa with us to share his Dhamma knowledge with us. I'd like to now invite Bhante to the studio. Good evening, Bhante.
Good evening, Brother Les.
Good evening. So nice to see you, and we are lucky that the internet is back and we can carry on with this evening's Dhamma sharing.
Yeah.
Okay, before we proceed with the Dhamma sharing, let me introduce Bhante to those of you who are not familiar with Bhante. Let me see whether I can get his profile just quickly. Yeah. Now, Venerable Dambulle Sudewa was ordained in 2002. He obtained his BA honors at the University of Peradeniya in Sri Lanka. He then furthered his studies and obtained an MA at the University of Pali and Buddhist Studies in Sri Lanka, and was also appointed a Royal Pandit. He was a former assistant lecturer in Pali and Buddhist Studies at the University of Peradeniya. Now, Bhante is looking forward to proceeding with his studies in Hong Kong, but because of the COVID situation here in Sri Lanka and also in Hong Kong, I think there are travel restrictions. So Bhante has postponed his travel to Hong Kong for furthering his studies. But in the meantime, he will give Dhamma talks to us here at the Buddhist Mahavihara's Dhammadana channel. So without much ado, Bhante, I would like to invite you to please start this evening's Dhamma sharing.
Yes, thank you for your interaction, Brother Leslie. I think you can hear me clearly.
Yes, we can hear you clearly, Bhante.
Okay, friends in Dhamma, let's recite the salutation to the Buddha together in order to start our program. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. First of all, I would like to pay my gratitude to Most Venerable Kirinde Dhammaratana Nayaka Mahathera and other venerable monks in Buddhist Mahavihara in Malaysia, and the organizing committee for having me on this special platform today. Before starting a sermon, normally what I do is I help people to come to the present moment through a simple exercise, because our mind always wanders here and there all this time with your monkey mind. So follow my instructions in order to come to the present moment. Keep your back straight as much as you can. Gently close your eyes. Now, take a deep, long breath and release it slowly. For the second time, take a deep, long breath and release it slowly. For the third time, take a deep, long breath and release it slowly. Relax your whole body. Relax your whole body from top of your head to the tips of your toes. Relax, relax, relax. Just pay your attention to the sounds you hear now around you. Just be mindful on them. Now, take your attention to your body. Observe the posture now you are having here. Observe from your head to toes. Observe from your head to toes. Observe from your head to toes. Now you clearly know that you are here and now. Yes, I am here and now. I am here and now. I am here and now. Now please open your eyes. Okay, dear friends in Dhamma, the topic of the Dhamma talk today is a Buddhist perspective on how to embrace life. Before drawing your attention to the topic, let me narrate a story about the importance of listening to something mindful. As my friend, Brother Leslie, told you before, normally I tell advisory stories when I preach. Okay, this is the first story. There was a big farm in a village. The owner of this farm was an old man. A group of children used to go to their playground across this farm every day. The farmer used to have a friendly chat with those children almost every day. One day, children saw this farmer was very sad and disappointed. They asked the reason why he was sad. The farmer said, "My father gifted me with a special watch when I turned 21. I lost it somewhere on the farm. I tried and tried and tried and tried, but I couldn't find it." Children felt sad and agreed to look for the watch for the farmer. The farmer was very happy and said, "If you could find the watch, I would present you with a valuable gift." Soon they rushed to the farm and began to search for it. The hives were stirred up on the farm and, searched for the watch everywhere. Everyone wanted to find the watch to obtain the gift. They searched the watch for hour upon hours, but they couldn't find it. So the children finally left the farm. After playing in the evening, one child came along to the farmer and asked, "If I find your watch, would you give me that gift?" The farmer replied, "Yes, of course." So the child went to the farm, and after a while he came out with the watch. The farmer was very happy and amused and gave him the gift as he promised, and asked, "By the way, son, how did you find the watch so soon?" The child replied, "When I was playing, I thought of the reason why we couldn't find the watch. Then I understood the matter. We were in a mighty hurry and made big noises, as everyone wanted to get the gift. What I did now was simply going to the middle of the farm and just listening to the sound of the silent earth without making any noise. I did the same, changing the places from time to time. Then I heard the ticking sound of the second hand. So I went there and picked up the watch. That's how I found the watch." This story shows the importance of silence where necessary. When we are silent, we are able to hear even the tiniest sounds. Silence is gold. At the same time, we have experienced that many of us accuse others of making troublesome noises. It's a well-known fact that, noise pollution has become a hot potato, a topic of discussion today. What I want to emphasize here is, though we pay our attention to the noises others make, we never think or talk about the noises we make. If we are mindful of the noises we make, I think we can indeed understand that we make a lot of unnecessary noises, especially with our mouth. Honestly, I have been practicing mindful talking for years. As far as my experience is concerned, I have understood that we talk more than 50% of unnecessary words. Let me tell you how I practice it. Just pay your attention on the words you are going to tell. Think for a while whether they are harmful or useful to yourself and others. Think if they are false or true. Think of the importance of the words you are going to tell. Then you can decide whether those words should be spoken or not. In simpler terms, be mindful on your words when you talk. As you know, the Buddha made the right speech one of the pillars of his noble eightfold path. Okay, that's another story. I just wanted to emphasize the importance of silence when we listen to someone or something. Okay, please be silent and mindful so that you will be able to understand what I say here. Well, let's move to our topic today. Let me ask a question first. Keep thoroughly in your mind that you should answer the questions I ask thinking only about yourself. I know that you don't have a chance to turn on your mic and give your answers here. No need to text your answers. You can, question me if you have any doubt when we have our Q&A session. Okay. Okay. Um, don't think about your husband or wife, about your children, friends, or society. Keep thoroughly in your mind that you should answer the questions I ask thinking only about yourself. Okay? Just think about yourself and answer. Just answer to yourself. So those are not difficult questions. Those are very easy. Okay, then. Just tell me whether you are searching for anything in your life. Just think about yourself whether you are searching for anything in your life, yes or no. If yes, what is it or what are they? According to my experience, there is only one answer to this question. I think that answer is in your mind now. You will get to know it in a little while. Okay, if you have any other answers than the one that I am going to reveal you, bring them out during the Q&A session as I told you before. Okay, let me ask another question so that you could get the answer to the above question easily. What was the above question? Are you searching for anything in your life? This is the second question. Answer thinking only about yourself. As I told you before. Have you ever done anything in your life to be sad? I mean, with the intention of being sad. Most of the people are sad or repent later thinking about what they have done. That's another thing. What I am asking here is, have you ever done anything in your life with the intention of just being sad? I can't recall such things in my life. Actually, not at all, not really. It means we have done everything in our life to be happy. You can question this later if you have any doubt. Okay, let's continue. Let me narrate another quick story. You know, I always tell stories, especially when I sermonize. Therefore, I'm known as the story monk, as Brother Leslie told you before. I have understood that messages can be conveyed easily and fruitfully through stories. Therefore, I narrate advisory stories on my YouTube channel, The Story Monk. You may have a look there later. Okay. I'll tell you a small story. One day, a teacher asked her students, what do you expect in life once you complete or finish your studies? What do you hope to gain in your life? One boy raised his hand and answered, I wanna buy a Ferrari or a Lamborghini one day because I enjoy driving vehicles. Then I will be able to drive anywhere I like. One girl said, I love traveling, so I hope to travel around the world one day. It would make me so happy. Another one answered, I want to be a doctor. I love treating patients. Teacher was very happy. She appreciated them. She encouraged them. Finally, another boy answered, I want to be one of the happiest persons in this world. The teacher seemed confused. Oh no, baby, you haven't understood the question well, the teacher said. The boy responded, no, teacher, you haven't understood the life well. A smart boy. What does this story say? We do everything in our life to be happy. What's the meaning of so called living? Living means searching for ways to be happy. That's life. Though this teacher hasn't understood the last answer well, all the answers given by the students were the same. They hope to do something which makes them happy. That's all. All of them are searching for happiness in different ways. Once the Buddha said, Sabbe satta sukha kama dukkha patikula. All living beings desire happiness and recoil from suffering. Why do people get married? Just think for a while. Why do people get married? Why do they have children? Why do people earn? Why do some use drugs and alcohol? Why have some become monks like me? When we have a closer look, we can understand that people are searching for only one thing in many ways. What's this only one thing? You will be able to understand it in the course of this talk more and more. Okay, let me tell you a simile. Imagine a group of friends having a party in a park. This is an outdoor party. Some are dancing, some are singing, some others are chatting. On the other side of the town, there is a small village where a farmer is getting ready to water his crops. Unexpectedly, the sky is getting darker and the wind blows. It's about to rain. People who are partying look at the sky and say, oh no, God, don't rain, don't rain. If it rains, everything will be ruined in no time. Rain, rain, go away, come again another day. They sing, rain, rain, go away, come again another day. The farmer thinks, how nice. Oh, rain, please hurry up, come soon. I can't wait to see raindrops on my crops. If it rains, I won't have to pump water to the field. And also, I won't have to work hard here. It would save my time and effort as well. What happens? It's boring. The people at the party seem to be helpless. They have no shelter. They are angry, agitated. They curse the rain. The party dissolves in the rain. They are so sad. On the other hand, the farmer feels very happy as it rains. Party people are sad, the farmer is happy. What did it rain? Happiness or sadness? What's your answer? Neither rain. The sky just poured water. That's it. It is just an incident of nature, not a problem at all. This proves that our hopes bring us happiness or sadness, not the incidents. Okay, this is another story from Sri Lanka. A young man from Germany came to Sri Lanka for a retreat in a meditation center situated at a beautiful location. As soon as he entered the center, his face lit as he was so happy seeing that place. He said, "This is exactly what I expected. A silent and a calm environment for meditation practice as I live in a really complicated, noisy city. I tried so hard and could not meditate there." He was given a room to stay, and when the group meditation session started, everybody gathered in the meditation hall, including this young man. After the very first session, the young man looked unhappy. He didn't seem to have the same excitement anymore. The teacher questioned. The teacher wanted to know what happened. The young man answered, "I thought this is going to be a very quiet place, but I was disturbed by so much noise during the meditation. I heard people closing and opening the doors, the noise of monkeys jumping on the roof, tree nuts and leaves falling on the roof. Sometimes the mosquitoes were biting. Oh, I could hear the noise of animals from far away. It was very difficult to meditate along with these things." The teacher suggested, "Why don't you meditate in your room? If it is difficult for you to meditate at the meditation hall." The young guy seemed to be satisfied with the teacher's response. The next time, he meditated staying in his room. In about an hour, he went to the teacher and said that he gets disturbed even in his room. The teacher asked, "How did you get disturbed?" The young man answered, "I was disturbed by the noise of the second hand of the clock in my room." The teacher said, "You have come all the way from Germany not to listen to this noise of the second hand of the clock. So just remove the battery from the clock and meditate." The young man was happy with this suggestion and followed his teacher's words during the next session. After that session, the young man seemed upset again, and he went to the teacher and said, "During the last meditation session, I had no trouble whatsoever from external sources, but I heard my heartbeat, which disturbed the meditation. That's the story. Never ever expect that you will have a place with no disturbances or trouble in this world. We will always have to suffer if we only expect a life with no disturbance. At the same time, there were plenty of reasons for him to be happy, though he didn't realize them. What are they? He was able to hear, he was able to hear even the unnoticeable sound of his heart. Normally, we can't hear that. Do you know why? Yes, he had a really good focus. He was mindful. That is why he could listen to his heartbeat. Unfortunately, he couldn't see this positive side. Every dark cloud has a silver lining. We have to train our mind to see that. Okay, let me draw your attention to something else. Our breath. Breath is one of the most important things in our life, isn't it? We possess everything only until we breathe. Therefore, we can't neglect the breath at all. So, we should love it always. Okay. Now you may take a long, deep breath. Just do it with me. Now you may take a long, deep breath. Hold it and tell your breath, "Dear breath, you are the most valuable thing in my life, so I will allow you to go nowhere. Please be with me. I won't release you. I never release you. I love you. I can't be without you." Telling this, hold this breath. What happens? Are you feeling comfortable? No. Why? There is a rhythm of breath. It naturally comes in and goes out. You've been breathing nicely and comfortably until now without even noticing. If you interfere with this natural process, you will have to face the consequences like you had a little ago. So surrender to the rhythm of the nature always. Just think that I haven't come online yet without prior notification. It means you have been waiting more than half an hour by now. The speaker today has vanished. The topic is shared on social media and everything is arranged. Brother Leslie is in a big trouble. The organizing committee of Buddhist Mahavihar and everyone is in a big trouble. They try to contact me, but no response from my side. What would happen to you? You may feel uncomfortable, hopeless, or disappointed. Why? Okay, think of those who live with you and they don't normally listen to the sermons as you do weekly. Would they feel upset simply because of my absence? No, not at all. Why is that? They didn't have any expectations about this sermon. So it is crystal clear that only hopes bring us sadness. Try to understand this. If I weren't on this platform today, you would have listened to the best sermon you have ever heard. Again, if I weren't on this platform today, you would have listened to the best sermon you have ever heard. You should be mindful on your thoughts in order to listen to this special sermon. Have you got the point? Let me elaborate it a bit. If you are mindful on your mind, you can clearly observe the changes of your thoughts. Then you can see how and why sadness arose in your mind. That's very simple. Hopes brought you sadness. Why are you feeling that way about this incident? You had hopes about this program and you allocated your time and were waiting for this sermon. Simply, you were expecting me to come online and give a talk today. And now you are disappointed because your hopes, your expectation didn't come true. Think for a while. Well, now I'm going to tell you another story that happened in India. I heard this from an Indian yogi. One day, a man met an old friend on his way back from home, from, uh, on his way back from work. They were very happy to see each other after a long time, and one of them suggested celebrating it with a drink. The other friend was hesitating since he has promised his wife that he won't drink anymore. However, he agreed to join his friend for a little drink. Finally, they ended up drinking a lot with the long conversations, not realizing the time passed by. Eventually, this man said goodbye to his friend and started taking shortcuts to go home as he was running late. On his way, he fell on a thorny bush and bruised his face all over. Somehow he managed to go home, get in the bathroom, and put plasters on his face and went to bed. The next morning, his wife woke up and started blaming this man. She was asking if he had started drinking again. The man said, "No, I didn't drink since I promised you not to." The wife dragged him by his hand and took him to the bathroom. What happened? The mirror was full of plasters everywhere. He had put plasters on the mirror, looking at his image, thinking that he was doing it on his face. That is why all the plasters were on the mirror. Well, this is a little advisory story. This is exactly what we do in our life. The problem is elsewhere, and we carry the treatment elsewhere. That's why we do not get the solution to the problem. What's the problem? We go through all the sacrifices, hard work, and suffering looking out for happiness, but we haven't found it yet. How do we know that we haven't? We are still looking for it because we haven't found it yet. Each and every person has a future plan, thinking that they will gain happiness after completing them successfully. We believe that happiness is in the future because we haven't found it yet. We happen to get old, suffer from health issues, and face the death of those who are close to us as well as our own death. These are natural phenomena in life. We get all these for free, within a package called life. We are not able to change these since that is how nature is. The things like the sunrise, rain, wind are creations of nature that we don't have any control over. And the people that we associate, they act and behave the way they want. Although we expect that they would behave the way we want, it doesn't happen. Accordingly, if we expect things to happen in line with our expectations in a world that changes from moment to moment, it's a huge weakness within us. Happiness can be sought in two ways, according to the Buddha. The first one is changing the outer world. The second one is changing the inner world or the way of thinking. Throughout the life journey, what we try to do is the first. We try to do the first. What's it? We try to change the outer world and find happiness. It never works. Though we spend our entire life on that, we are not able to change the flow of nature. Once the Buddha said, there are these 5 facts that we should think about often. Whether we are a man or a woman, householder or a renouncer. What are these 5? I am prone to aging. I haven't gone beyond aging. This is the first fact. I am prone to disease. I have not gone beyond disease. This is the second fact. I am subject to death. I didn't go beyond death. This is the third fact. I will become different and I will be separated from all, that is dear and pleasant to me. This is the fourth fact. I am the owner of my actions, O come, the heir of my actions. I am born of my actions. I am related to my actions, and I have many actions as arbiter. Whatever I do, good or bad, this is what I will inherit. This is the fifth fact. Those are the 5 facts that you should often think about, whether you are a woman or a man, a householder or a renouncer. Why should we think like that? Think about yourself. Do you age willingly? Do you get sick willingly? Does anyone need a heart attack? Who needs a cancer? Who welcome the skin wrinkling? No one needs them, but they come to us. That's the nature. Though we like it or not, we have to face those. That's the nature. Everything is changeable. They are not under our control. Then we can concentrate on reality. As a result of it, we can train our minds to accept such situations. We can be realistic and handle those situations. Okay, let me narrate another story here. I think this will be the last story today. A young American had an opportunity to read about Buddhism, and he went looking for a place where he could practice Buddhist meditation. He went to Thailand and was ordained. He was ready to go back to America after practicing meditation for 5 years. He was in a forest monastery. During this whole time, 5 years, no one from his family knew anything about this young monk since he was in a deep, deep forest. Okay, now he was returning to his motherland after 5 years from Thailand to the USA. While the monk was on his way close to his home, he slipped and fell in a drainage. He broke his leg. He was hospitalized and a message was sent to his family. So the monk, the monk was treated and in great pain in his hospital bed. The monk's mother heard the news and came to the hospital to see her son. She saw the monk in terrible pain and discomfort. But his mother was jumping, clapping, and so happy seeing the son. The monk was surprised. He asked, I have broken my leg. I am in great pain and discomfort. You are my mother. How can you be so happy seeing me like this? After 5 years. The mother responded, Yes, you are my son, and I am your mother. True. It is after 5 years that you come to see us. Now that you have a broken leg, you can't leave us very soon. You will have to stay with us until it is healed. That's why I am happy. See, this mother realized that there is no point in crying or being upset of what happened, since it is not going to heal her son. She has trained her mind to look at it differently and stay calm and happy. She was actually smart. Just try to apply this to every trouble you have to face in your life. Before winding up the talk, I would tell you something about the practice. How can we practice what I told you so far? It is very, very simple and very, very complex. It's very simple and very complex because we have to do something little. We have to do something little, therefore, it is simple. So, why is it complex? We haven't trained our minds to accept the reality. As far as I have understood in my practice, the most difficult thing in this world is changing the way of our thinking. Our thinking pattern has become us. We have installed the thinking pattern of sadness. Therefore, we have to struggle a lot to change the way of thinking. That's why this is complex. I have experienced that if we practice this thoroughly, by the passing of time, we are able to witness the dwindle of suffering. Observe your mind and see how the mind changes when your hopes become true and when they do not. Then you will realize that only your hopes bring you happiness or sadness. That's all for today. If you have any questions related to the today's talk, please feel free to ask. Thank you.
Thank you, Bhante. I think that was one of the most interesting talks I've listened to, and I think our audience is also quite enthralled by what you had to say and all the stories that you had to share with us. But I sadly see there were No questions. I'm very surprised that there are no questions this evening. But let me just throw to the screen some comments that we have from one of our listeners. And I see another one here. So, Bhante, I think we have come to the end of this evening's Dhamma sharing. If there are no more questions from the audience who's listening in, you may actually
Yes.
visit Bhante. Let me just throw that on. As I mentioned earlier, Bhante is on YouTube, and many of his Dhamma sharings are here. It's called the Story Monk on YouTube. So if you go to YouTube, type in the Story Monk, and you can see Bhante. It's got quite a number of Dhamma talks, and many of them all story based. And I think you'll find it very entertaining and very enlightening as well at the same time. Since that, let me see whether there's another question from the audience, Bhante. Yeah, no questions, but more appreciations. Good one, Mr. Ugi. What else do we have? Oh, okay. Here is one question, Bhante. Can you see the question, Bhante?
How can we tame our monkey mind? Yes. The Buddha always advised us to train our mind, especially practicing mindfulness. I think you have heard about the Satipatthana Sutta. In that sutta, the Buddha especially advised us, uh, the Buddha paved the way, us to be mindful. So, we can start with it, our body. We can experience our breathing, and we can be mindful when we do our things like walking, doing something like cooking. So we can apply that mindfulness to our mind later on. We find it difficult to do it directly because as you have understood, our mind is just like a monk. That's why it is called monkey mind. So it runs here and there. So we have to start with kaya anupassana. uh, you just try to be mindful with your bodily sensations.
So, Bhante, looks like you got a nice following here in Malaysia now. Many of them are very appreciative of your stories, just like me. So, how about the
Thank
questions? And okay, there's another question to your question, Bhante.
you. Yes.
Do you want to try to answer this?
Yeah. I have already given the answers. So if you have any doubt, you can question me. The whole
Uh,
talk was the answer for those questions I asked.
yeah.
I think you have
So I think,
realized.
yeah, I think many of them were enthralled by the stories. They forgot the content, the basic content of the talk, Bhante. So they were enthralled by your stories. So
Okay.
one thing, we've come to the end of this evening's Dhamma sharing. So before we end, can I kindly invite you to conduct the Anumodana? We'll transfer the merits to the Devas as well as to the departed beings.
Okay. Now this is the time for transferring merits and blessings. Uh, let's share the merits we accumulated with the divine beings and departed ones. May they be well and happy. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Blessings to those who who have sponsored today's sermon and all those who have involved. May you all be well and happy. I'm going to bless you all with some stanzas. Sabbitiyo vivajjantu sabbarogo vinasatu mate bhavatvantaraayo sukhi didhayuko bhava bhavatu sabba mangalan rakhantu sabba devata sabba buddhanubhavena sada sotti bhavantu te Bhavatu sabba mangalan rakhantu sabba devata sabba dhammanubhavena sada sotti bhavantu te Bhavatu sabba mangalan rakhantu sabba devata sabba sanghanubhavena sada sotti bhavantu te Nakhatta yakka bhutanang papaggaha nivarana haritassanubhavena hantu te sangupadhave sadhu sadhu sadhu. Thanks for inviting and being with me. Stay safe, stay sane. May the Triple Gem bless you. Thank you.
Thank you, Bhante. On behalf of the monks, and especially the Chief Monk of the Buddhist Mahavihara, and also to the sponsors of this evening Dhamma sharing, and also to our listeners who have joined us this evening from far and wide. Let me take this opportunity to thank Bhante for being with us this evening. And I would like to invite Bhante to come back and share another Dhamma sharing with us when time permits. I think you have a lot of followers now here in Malaysia. Not just Malaysia, because our broadcast is throughout the world. We have followers from all over the world actually, not just in Malaysia. So Bhante, will you kindly accept our invitation when we invite you again for the next Dhamma sharing? And just to inform all our listeners as well, we have actually been broadcasting for the last 16 months since the pandemic broke from April last year, April 2020, and we have not taken a break. Every Friday and Sunday, we have been broadcasting here from Buddhist Mahavihara's Facebook page. So we just think it's time for us to take a break ourselves. We'll give ourselves a 2 week break and we'll come back in the middle of August and carry on where we left off. And hopefully, we will like to invite all of you to join us again. I'll put it up the posters again when we're ready on our Facebook page. Please take a look at our Facebook page for the next talks, which will be, I think, somewhere around the 18th or 19th of August. With that, we've come to the end of this evening's Dhamma sharing. Thank you again, Bhante. Thank you for your time. And
Thank
we
you.
look forward to seeing you again. And have a pleasant evening, one and all. Sadhu. Sukhi Hotu.